In a shocking tale of love, betrayal, and tragedy, today's story delves into the life of a 60-year-old housewife who found herself entangled in a whirlwind romance with a young man, a relationship that would end in unexpected and deadly consequences. This affair captivated everyone around her, leaving friends and family wondering how a stable, loving wife could fall for someone who seemed to want only one thing: her money. It began innocently enough. Sarah, a devoted wife of 40 years, had built a quiet, comfortable life. She and her husband had raised children, shared family vacations, and created a lifetime of memories together. But as the years passed, Sarah felt a void. The once lively spark in her marriage faded, leaving her searching for excitement, validation, and, perhaps, a renewed sense of purpose. Little did she know, her search would lead her into the hands of a much younger man. Enter Daniel, a 29-year-old with a charming smile and a keen eye for opportunity. Working as a waiter at an upscale restaurant, Daniel met Sarah on a quiet afternoon when she was dining alone. He was immediately taken with her grace, and she was flattered by his attention. What began as polite small talk soon evolved into deep, personal conversations. Sarah found herself confiding in Daniel, sharing details of her life and her marriage that she had never spoken of to anyone else. The two started seeing each other regularly. Sarah was exhilarated by this newfound relationship and found herself feeling youthful and alive again. Daniel, on the other hand, seemed to be swept up by the attention and material comforts that Sarah generously provided. Lavish dinners, expensive gifts, and promises of financial support became frequent. But while Sarah viewed their relationship as a second chance at love, Daniel's motives were murky from the start. Friends and family noticed the changes in Sarah's behavior. She became more secretive, often making excuses to spend time away from home. Her husband, a devoted man who had shared 4 decades of marriage with her, sensed something was amiss but trusted Sarah enough not to question her whereabouts. Her children were equally puzzled but chalked it up to mom going through a phase. However, no one expected the lengths Sarah would go to in order to keep her relationship with Daniel. As the relationship deepened, Sarah began making financial decisions that raised red flags. She liquidated investments, dipped into her retirement savings, and even took out loans to provide Daniel with the lifestyle he desired. Friends who noticed became concerned, but Sarah brushed off their warnings, convinced that her love for Daniel would stand the test of time. She believed she had found happiness and didn't see the storm that was slowly brewing in the background. Tension started to mount when Daniel's true intentions surfaced. It became apparent to Sarah that he was more interested in her bank account than in her heart. Small arguments escalated, with Daniel often pressuring her for more money. Sarah felt torn between her desire to keep the relationship alive and her growing realization that Daniel might not be as invested as she had once thought. Still, she chose to ignore the warning signs, holding on to hope that things would improve. One fateful evening, the relationship took a sinister turn. After a particularly heated argument about money, Sarah threatened to end things with Daniel. The threat of losing his financial support pushed Daniel over the edge. In a moment of rage, he lost control, and what was once a relationship marked by passion and excitement turned deadly. The confrontation spiraled, and when it was over, Sarah was gone, her life taken in a tragic moment of violence. The aftermath was nothing short of devastating. Sarah's family was left grapple with not only the loss of their beloved wife and mother but also the circumstances surrounding her death. Shock and disbelief filled the air as details of the affair and its tragic end unfolded. The community mourned Sarah's loss and struggled to come to terms with the truth behind her relationship with Daniel. Her family sought justice, determined that the man who had taken their loved one would face the consequences. In court, Daniel showed little remorse. He tried to justify his actions by painting a picture of mutual dependency, claiming Sarah had manipulated him as much as he had her. However, the evidence was undeniable. Text messages, bank transactions, and testimonies from friends and family painted a grim portrait of a young man who had preyed upon an older woman's vulnerability, leading her down a path that would ultimately cost her everything. The trial concluded with Daniel receiving a harsh sentence, a small solace for the family that lost someone so dear to them. Sarah's tragic tale serves as a somber reminder of how desperation and vulnerability can lead people into dangerous situations. It shows the importance of seeking support in times of loneliness and ensuring that relationships are built on trust and sincerity, not ulterior motives. Thank you for watching. Sarah's story is a haunting example of how powerful emotions, when mixed with manipulation, can lead to devastating consequences. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What would you have done if you were in Sarah's situation? Stay safe and see you in the next video.